Let's bring in Alexis von Hoensbroech. He is CEO at WestJet. Alexis, thanks very much for giving us the time.
Thank you. Great to be with you on air today.
You're a veteran of the air industry. You ran Austrian Air, for example, but you've been through some pretty harrowing times. What's it like? How much sleep have you been getting over the past few days?
Well, I try to get enough sleep, but of course we have all hands on deck these days. I think we're seeing an unprecedented situation. The pandemic has been devastating for the entire industry. Industry has been down to whatever, less than 20% of its normal demand for more than 2 years, and now we are seeing a massive demand rebound, which is good on one side. On the other hand, no surprise that this is now causing operational challenges that we have to deal with. Not just us as WestJet, not just us as Canada, but it's happening all across the world.
Now, just clarify your schedule for this summer. Are you actually cancelling flights now that you were planning to run, say, a week ago?
So we have been pretty proactive in this, and we have gone through actually 6 stages of adjusting our summer schedule to account for the operational challenges that we are seeing. So we have done this with some advanced timing in order to give our guests the opportunity to actually re-accommodate in a reasonable way. So we have taken down our schedule now to a level of about 25% less movements compared to 2019 in July.
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, I just want to clarify this. Sorry, are these new cuts or are these schedule reductions that you planned over weeks?
Well, the most of this has happened over the last couple of weeks already. So in order to give our passengers time, we still do some short-term cancellations as well, in case we have to, in order to deal with the daily challenges that we are seeing. But this is pretty limited. So the majority we have done proactively already a few weeks ago.
Thank you very much. Now, you say that the airline industry is forced to surmount unprecedented challenges. And you're right, of course, noting Europe, for example, seeing massive travel delays. But it looks like so far WestJet and its people are failing to meet the challenge. I'm just looking at some of the comments on Twitter. Gerald Reynolds, you cancelled our flight. We called and spoke with the agent twice and we're disconnected. We're on our 3rd attempt now. So you failed to put enough people into your call center.
Well, first of all, I can just apologize, like many other airline CEOs do that as well, that this is a very, very challenging time, yeah, with airlines or demand recovering. And, you know, it's not just airlines, it's many parts of the travel chain that all deal with the same challenges, whether it's airports, whether it's suppliers, whether it's government agencies, it's airlines. And if just one of these pieces of the chain don't work, then you see ripple effects through the entire chain. Yeah? And we are doing the utmost to make things as smooth as possible. So we have hired more than 1,000 people over the last couple of months. We have increased our call center staffing by 20%. But you know, it's not happening overnight. We are doing whatever we can. We are mitigating many of the problems, but still we will see a difficult summer for sure. But we are in very close cooperation with the entire industry. I just was on the phone with Minister Omar Agabra this morning again to talk about what we can jointly do to improve it. And what I can say and confirm is everyone has all hands on deck. But let me just use this opportunity. I really would like to thank all the crews and all the operational staff in the airline industry for the enormous efforts that they do to fix the problems that we see and help our guests to reach their destination. I just want to show you one more tweet. And of course, WestJet is not the only airline worldwide to be having these problems. AD says the AD's flight was cancelled with no explanation why. That's kind of a tradition in the aviation industry, isn't it, from my experience? Tell the passengers nothing. Well, we are as communicative as we can. I can't comment on a specific singular event. But again, it is challenging, but we are proactive in an airport like Pearson, Toronto Pearson, where we're seeing the largest problems in the country. We have actually reduced our flight plan now by 32% less movements. There's actually no other carrier that has reduced its schedule to that extent, and we are taking painful and also expensive steps to stabilize the system. But we are far away from good. And again, no surprise that we're seeing these things all over the world, and actually there are other places on the world that are seeing even worse problems than we are seeing over here.
And I mean, aviation, it is a daily miracle. You fly hundreds of thousands of people, your industry around, and massive safety, technical considerations. I'm not trying to make light of it by any means. The company just said you're pulling back out of Eastern Canada. You're going to consolidate in Calgary. You still will operate in Eastern Canada, but you indicated that you just can't compete with Air Canada in the most populous part of the country. Doesn't this suggest that we need far more airline competition in Canada? Let foreign carriers in?
Well, I think WestJet is really well known to be a very competitive airline. Actually, it started with 3 aircraft 26 years ago, and now it's operating more than 180 aircraft. So I think this is a sign that airline competition is really strong in Canada. So what we have decided over the last couple of weeks when we were looking at our strategy going forward is that we will concentrate our investments where they can be of most use for Canadians and where we know that we can be really strong. So it's basically 3 things. We are the home carrier of the West, and we can do more in the West because we can still add additional connections and additional frequencies to Western communities, so we will do that. We are the undisputed leisure carrier of Canada, actually all across of Canada, so we will do more of this, and the proposed Sunwing transaction will actually allow us to do even more than the combined business of WestJet and Sunwing with regard to leisure flying. And the third thing is we have low-cost routes. I mean, we are the carrier that made air travel affordable in Canada, and we will do more of this. So affordability of our airline is really at the core of our business. So with regard to your question on the eastern business, so what we are doing is actually more a shift. So we are shifting our network focus from inner eastern flying into connecting transcontinental flights and into flying to sun destinations. And my expectation is as we will grow transcont and sun, we will actually ultimately see more WestJet passengers in the east than today, but flying them to different destinations than today.
In your time running Austrian Airlines, you oversaw competition with ultra-low-cost carriers. I'm sure Ryanair was a factor. So you have deep experience. We are seeing low-cost startups in Canada. WestJet began as a discount carrier. You're not primarily a discounter anymore. Is it time to get back to those roots?
Yes, you're right. So we will focus more on our roots, on what made WestJet as successful as it was. So we will put more focus on being low cost, on being affordable than it has been over the last few years. So this is a clear focus, but not because of rising competition. So we have no problem with rising competition. We are very competitive ourselves, but we will improve competitiveness, and I think that's good because this will ultimately deliver more travel options to Canadians and make traveling more affordable than it was so far. And we will continue on that journey.
One last question, Alexis. When you look at the Canadian airline industry, is there an important difference, do you think, between our sector here and in other countries? For example, Austria, a similar, relatively small country.
Well, in population-wise, you're right. Geography-wise, it's very different,
yes.
And so there are some very significant differences. And I would say the most significant difference is Canada is a huge country with small populations. So actually, airlines are the lifeline for many, many communities, and not just small communities. Just think about Calgary. Calgary, from a traffic perspective, is an island. So either you get there by an airplane or you don't get there. mainly. Yeah? So therefore, it's a real vital service that we are delivering to these communities. And this is a bit different to Europe, where you usually have train and road and whatever, many other alternatives. So airlines are really vital over here. The other thing is that Canada is a beautiful country, but it's getting pretty cold in winter. I just could experience it myself. And Canadians are very happy to fly into leisure destinations into the sun belt of this continent. And this is at the core of our business. This is what WestJet does really, really well to help Canadians to escape the cold winter. And this is also pretty unique. So the amount of travel demand that we see in winter in Canada is just unheard of when you come from Europe.